Hi, everybody from Interior Design. As promised, I'm going to be updating you on what our plan is for the rest of the semester. Carol and I have been chatting, and most of you chimed in last Friday morning and tested your Zoom capabilities with Carol. We're going to be doing another Zoom lecture this coming Friday. And Carol's going to be presenting that between 10 and 12 a.m. in the morning. Part of that time she wants to be able to offer some question and answer period for you all to chime in and ask questions about the kitchen project that we're going to be working on. So I've been doing a lot of work on my end to get everything ramped up and prepared so that we can continue to go forward and communicate and collaborate for the kitchen project, and then the last final project, which will be a group project, which will be the cafe project. So let me bring up the lesson plan for the week, for the semester, I should say, that I will be putting in the email to you that will be along with this video. And in there, this will be kind of our roadmap for the rest of the semester. So on starting this week, March 23rd through the 27th, what's planned for lecture material and topics is Carol will be doing a review of the cabinet styles. So here in the document, I've provided a link to her original Prezi so that you all have it for reference. And then she is going to be recording a lighting lecture and posting it tentatively on March 30th that you can watch at your own time. And you just want to make sure you're watching this before the kitchen design presentation week. So those two things will be available at some point this will be happening Friday, and then she will be recording that light lecture probably over that weekend and hoping to have that lecture up and ready to be viewed the beginning of next week. So this is our homework. We have, you do have every week an image description, which will be put in your class portal as a little quiz. It's going to be just a single essay answer quiz. So just like you've been doing in class, you're going to use the class portal. I'll show you how to get there right now. So you're going to use the class portal and go to the 140 folder. And Carol hasn't sent me the image yet, but she's going to be sending me the image to put in to the class portal for the first image you're going to be providing a description for. So let me switch to student view so you can see it the way that you're going to be seeing it. So if we go to coursework with student view, all of the things that have check marks are things that we've already done. And down here, the format in which we're doing the image descriptions is changed now because we have to do this remotely. You're going to click on image description, and you have as many times as you want to go in and click on this and look at the image and add, but you're just putting a short description of an image that will be in here, and it will just say describe the image. And then you have just a simple essay format here, so you can type anything, and then Carol will read it and give you her feedback. So if you go in and go back out again, that's fine, but you are allowed retakes. But it's open and it's due in 5 days. So March 28th at 5 p.m. If it goes past that day, it goes down a 10% grade. But this is just going to be one of our ways of making sure people are still connected and participating in the class. So think of this as your attendance. But it gives you like pretty much the whole week to do that and put in that description. So that's one of the things that we're going to be doing weekly. This week, we'd like you to get started on your Google slide that you're going to be using to do your kitchen presentation. So connected to this document here, the outline that we're doing for the rest of the semester, is your template that you're going to be using to set up your kitchen presentation. So right at the top, I'm giving you instructions. So what you're going to want to do is save this as make a copy, and save it in your, you do the entire presentation and save it in a folder on your Google Drive, so that you can start to put your particular kitchen remodel plans and things into your slide. So I'd like you to save this as, call this, name this kitchen after whoever your client is. So let's say it's like Carol's my client. I'd say it's Carol's Kitchen, and then just follow that up with by Meredith. So it should say blank kitchen by blank. The person's kitchen you're designing for goes first, and then who the designer is last. And that way, when we go to look at these and we share these templates, we're going to know whose kitchen it was designed for just by the name. So make sure you're doing that. Do that first, and then you can start to edit this slide. So the way I have the slide set up is it follows the outline for what you're going to be delivering for the kitchen assignment or project. So you have the title page here. Here you want to put a list of your client's must-haves. You should have that information from the National Kitchen and Bath Association survey and some things that your client indicated that they really wanted to have or preferences for the kitchen. On the next slide, you're going to list all the problems with the existing kitchen and show a picture of the existing layout over here, which you all have copies of. And if you don't, I'll show you that you have access to everything that was on the portal still, so you can grab it and make a copy of it electronically and post it in here. We're going to be creating a mood board, and I will be giving you an example mood board a little later on this week. Then you're going to show your kitchen plan here, your elevations in the next slide, and if you have to have more than 2 slides, just duplicate or delete slides as you need them to make this your own. Then you're going to have a page that just talks about what you're using for cabinets and cabinet styles. Then you'll have an appliance page that you'll just show images of the appliance you plan on using and finishes. So this should include flooring, tile, countertop, paint colors, things like that. Lighting, what are you picking out for lighting fixtures? And lastly, you're going to have a link to your electronic notebook that will hold all of the things that you researched or considered for the project. We want to see what you looked at, what you considered, and that is going to kind of show the bulk of the work that you've done basically for the kitchen to get to the point where you made the decisions that you made here. So that electronic notebook needs to be set up as a shared Google Drive. So you're going to be creating a shared Google Drive. You're going to be calling it Your Name Kitchen Notebook, and you're going to share it with Carol and I, set to view and comment. So here's an example of how to do that. If we go to my Google Drive, I will be sharing this resource folder with you. We have a shared Google Drive for interior design, and this link is going to be put into the email I send you. We go into kitchen design project. You have the Google slide presentations that you're going to place your slide presentations once you finish them and rename them, you'll put them in there. And then here's where you'll put your electronic notebook. So let me give you an example. I'm going to pretend that I'm one of you. I'm going to do Meredith's e-notebook, just to make it a little shorter name. And then I need to make sure I set the share settings. So if I go to right click on this and hit share, I can set this to view and edit, or I can go into advanced settings, and I might want to share with Carol. I want to make sure, so you might need to keep this. I thought that there was a way to share and comment, but it looks like, oh right, this is going to be, can organize and edit, because this is a folder. So that's fine to set it up like this for Carol and I. So you're just going to be setting up for Carol and I. And then you're going to send an email out to the folks that you want to add to be able to view and share. So you'd send the email out to Meredith and Carol at SMCC and at ResDes Studio. Go ahead and put both of her work and SMCC email, and then make sure that the pencil is set to can organize and edit. And that way we're going to be able to see your electronic notebooks and go through them and grade them. Okay? So once you fill out those names and hit send, then we will have access to your folder. Okay? So that's what you're going to be doing with that. And that will more or less complete what you're going to be, where you're going to go and how you're going to set up the kitchen project and the electronic notebook that will get graded. So you can go ahead and get started on filling out and populating that slide with anything you have completed so far. And this gives you your outline. The following week, March 30th, the lecture topic will be materials lecture, and Carol will be delivering that. We'll announce when that will be happening. And your homework, again, will be another image description. And then you're going to finish up the kitchen remodel presentation in your copy of the Google Slide template. We plan on doing presentations the week of the 6th through the 10th, and we're going to be sending out a Survey Monkey that will ask you which days and blocks, 2-hour blocks of time will be best for you to do your presentations. We're going to be breaking you up into 3 groups. Your groups will consist of each team. In other words, you have to make sure that you're coordinating a time with your designer and client so that you both are attending the same time slots. The 3 presentation times are breaking you guys into about groups of 6, 7, or 8 at the most. And Carol and I will be able to attend all 3 as long as they're all at different times. So we've got some times that we're going to put out and propose to you. If none of those times work for you, you just have to let us know and give us some times that might work for you, and we will figure it out. That same week, I will be doing a presentation on branding that will kick off our project for the cafe project. And I have some example projects from previous semesters for you to take a look at here that will show you the concept of what we're going to be covering for the cafe project. But this branding presentation will give you an idea of what we're looking for. And so for homework, you still have an image description, and then you're going to be creating a brand concept for the cafe design that we're going to be doing. And then you're going to place your branding concept in the branding logos Google Drive shared folder. And we will be picking 3 logos out of the ones that all of you have designed. You're going to put those logos in there by April 13th. And then those 3 logos will become the 3 cafe concept projects that we work on in groups. So we'll also be broken up into groups of around 6, 7, or 8, depending on how it arranges, to do 3 cafe projects. April 13th through 17th, another image description. And then you're going to connect with your groups to fill out the project timeline in order to complete all the tasks by May 4th deadline. So the timeline is there so that your complete project is done by May 4th, but we want to see the timeline filled out with duties assigned to each person in your group by April 22nd. Research topics to be delegated are for furniture, commercial kitchen equipment, ADA compliant bathroom and lighting. And then our week 20 through 24th, the lecture materials or topics will be life safety requirements, commercial code requirements, and ADA compliance by Carol. Homework will be another image description, and then you're going to compile in a Google Slide template similar to the kitchen project. I'll go to that so you can see it. You're going to be compiling your cafe project. And we're going to make sure that all of you have people that know how to use Revit. So most of this stuff for the layout and the kitchen elevations and equipment plans and things the Revit people in your group will be able to generate the Revit models to generate these plans. But those of you who don't know Revit and are good at research or interested in furniture for a kitchen or for the dining area, or you're interested in a kitchen, commercial kitchen equipment, these are the areas where you can be helpful by going and doing the research and finding the things that you plan on using in those spaces and helping those folks that are using Revit to find the Revit models and families they need to populate the space. Again, the interior elevations are all going to be able to be generated from that Revit model. We will be doing a set life safety plan that can be done by somebody in the Revit model can create a copy of the plan and send it to AutoCAD or whatever. So anybody can do that as long as it's converted into a format that someone else can use. Interior perspectives, again, will come from the Revit model. And then we have furnishing. So the person doing the research on furnish for tables and seating and stuff would take care of that. We have lighting fixtures. So someone needs to do some research on the kinds of lighting fixtures that they want to use within the space. And then we have art and interior finishes, visual branding. In other words, how are you going to make this look like your cafe concept? And so there's plenty to do for people who don't know the Revit stuff. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done that all of you have to figure out how to divvy up and present. We are trying all these things out, so we really need to make sure that as we go forward, we communicate well with each other and let Carol and I know if you run into problems or things become a challenge, and we just need to hear that and make changes or figure out ways to solve that problem. We're just as new to this as you are, so be patient with us and definitely communicate. So last step, the April 27th and through May 1st will be a teamwork week, and Carol and I will be available through whatever. Probably it's going to still stay GoToMeeting. I'll put that in there for questions and support, and we'll announce those times, and your homework will be description of your class portal and then complete the cafe project. So recognize if you for this one, you're going to want to keep your slide template in a location where everybody has access to it on your team, and share that slide with everybody on your team. And when we get a little closer to doing this project, I'll show you how to do that. And then we're expecting to present the cafe presentations in groups of 3 groups of the same format, if you will, that we use for the kitchen presentations. So the times and ways of presenting will to be announced. Hopefully the kitchen presentations go well and we'll use the same format. So that's our plan. The rest of these notes here are more for Carol and I, but we put them here to be transparent. These are the things that we've got to make sure we deliver on some of the stuff we've done. And this is now going to be 3 groups. So some of this stuff may not be here when I actually link this file, but this is just how Carol and I are going to communicate to each other as well and say, hey, do you have this? Do you have that? And so that's our plan for the semester. I think that pretty much covers it. Don't panic. We're going to get through this together. And most importantly, we just want to make sure that we deliver to you what you paid for this class. And I think we're going to be able to do that. So anything that anything that we record live is going to be recorded so you can watch it at a later date. And we're going to use a lot of videos and things like that to supply you with information. I do want to hear from each one of you if any of you have a concern about access to the class for the rest of the semester because of it being an online format. I'd like to hear from you so that we can figure out some solutions. So I guess I'm done. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to cover, but if there is, I will follow up. So that's our plan. And you'll be hearing from Carol with an invitation for Friday's lectures. Thank you. Stay safe.